Hi, Billy the Artist here, and we're back with more How to Draw Cavemen. Though today it'll be a cave woman. We're drawing Goona from Aardman, the new Aardman animation film. We have already done Dog and Hognob, so check them out in the playlist, the How to Draw playlist. They are there before, so you can check out those videos and have a bit of fun doing them. But today we're doing the ladies. Again, these techniques are very simple, and I use the boxes that you can find in the How to Draw Anything Part 1 and every other of my How to Draw playlists. That shows you these for quick sketches, but this is for the ladies. So here are two drawings. So this is Jenna Coleman when she was in Doctor Who. She's also played Queen Victoria in the TV drama. And this is Cheryl, the singer, when she's pregnant with Bear, Liam Payne's baby. Again, check out the portraits playlist and you can see these. Now these are much longer. This one took about a day and a half, and that was a day's work. So as you can see, if you spend more time using these techniques, whether it's the drawing or the shading, this is what you can come up with and actually produce a highly detailed drawing. So anyway, I hope that you like those and check out those playlists. Please do like and subscribe for future videos. But today we are back with the Aardman drawings on how to draw. So we are drawing Goona. So this looks like it's a little bit more complex because we're doing pretty much a full body one. So we're going to work this quick to get this in. So we need shapes. So again, I'm just going to draw, so you can divide your page into 4 if you kind of do that cross. And so you've got an imaginary line to start actually doing the actual images. And by putting boxes in, so here we can see we've got an arm, and that's where there's going to be a hand and a fingers. So underneath here we've got a rectangle that's going to go up, that's a left arm, and then we've got a bit of a triangle that's going up to there, and we want another little box for the folded arm. Now folded arms can be quite difficult, but again, doing these shapes can really help you develop your art and your drawing quite quickly. So we now want a box for Goona's shoulders. Now her neck, we kind of put the start drawings there going up to her mouth, which kind of fills a full face. We just do a triangle that's going up to the bottom of her face, and then if we do that smile, like half of a oval, that's going to be Goona's face, and then we can obviously just draw another box there and then just put the little diagonal lines in. Goona's nose is just a kind of rounded square really, and then we've got her eyes. So we're just going to pop that in. Let's get that eye in there, and then we want this eye in, which is a circle. It's going to go in there. And Goona's character, I didn't mention these before, Goona's character is voiced by Maisie Williams, who's done lots of other interesting bits and pieces, but here she's doing this lovely lass in this film for Aardman. So now we want another box, another rectangle, and then another rectangle for that top, and then we can just curve them out, and that's Goona's hat. Now again, we've got a great big oval going right the way round. That's her hair, just a great big circle, kind of oval, and that's Goona's hair going around the back, and then coming down the back of her arm we've got another rectangle, which is the hair, which is her ponytail that comes off the back there. Now we come off this elbow here, rectangle for that belt, and then we've got the bottom part of a triangle, which is Goona's top, a kind of tunic thing that goes over the top that's held together by this belt, and then we've got the kind of skirt. So if we just draw this box here first, And then we can draw one rectangle for that leather strap, one rectangle there for that leather strap, and another rectangle for that one. And then there's a final one that goes off there, another rectangle for that leather strap, and all of these have just got a little V, a little triangle at the bottom, and we can detail those up in a second. Again, this looks like a very complex shape, but by just using complex drawing of a full figure person, but by using these simple shapes you can have fun and get the image down really quickly. And there's the knobbly knee at the bottom. So there you've got, very faintly, very quickly, a full drawing in of Goona's basic shapes in a body. Now we can kind of detail this up quickly, but we'll start with Goona's nose this time. So we just want that kind of nice, it's a bit of a rounded square shape where it just, that's the nose. Her right eye is obscured a little bit by the tip of her nose. So there's that round. The left eye is going to be the same size. And then we want the pupils in. So there's a right pupil and then the left pupil. Ooh, a little bit bigger, so let's just match that one up. Now she's got one highlight. Now, so draw a little circle and then draw your dark in to match. So there you can see a pair of eyes looking straight out at you very, very quickly. Now, the interesting thing with Aardman is she, being a lady, has massive eyelashes. So we've got the eyeshadow on the top. So if we just, that's the blue eyeshadow, draw a shape over the top, and then we can increase the black line on the top of that eyeball, and the same on the left, just going round kind of just before 12 o'clock on this one, and then pretty much down to 3 o'clock, and then she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eyelashes. So if you do one there, one on the edge, one on the edge, then you can put one in the middle, and that's how you can space them quite nicely. And then just draw a thicker line. If you thicken those up, all of a sudden her eyes and eyelashes are appearing quite quickly. So we've got the middle, and then you want the one on the edge, and then you want this final edge one, and then you can put them in the middle and they match up. So there is Goona's fantastic eyelashes. It's amazing that they do all this with plasticine. Now again, we will do the hat first. We'll work down from the top. So we'll follow the shape, and because you've got the little rectangle, you can build the square in, but you've got a little bit of stitching there where the edge of that hat goes. This is all knitted. Again, you could do this with felt tip pen and colour it in, or colour it in with crayons, or you could do it like me with just pencil. Now the top of the hat is just that curve going over. Again, you've got the little where the stitching goes, and then you've got 4 little ropelets that are the stitches that hold it together, a bit like an old football, old Casey football stitching, that is. There's the third. It doesn't matter that you actually go over those lines. Remember, you're drawing for fun and you're doing a quick sketch, which all works to your advantage. So it doesn't matter if you go over the lines. Now, Goona's lips are amazing. So again, you just think like a giant banana. The lips actually come outside the side of a head. So, and it's just a little bit flat and then curves up at the edges where you've got that massive smile. So now we come down here and do the bottom lip coming round. Again, just square that off a little bit and then go up and join. And then the bottom part of a top lip pretty much is halfway. If you kind of look from the top to the bottom of a top lip to the bottom of a bottom lip, is about halfway. So you can then just put that smile in to make that work, and then the teeth kind of come across, so you're a little bit more of a banana, but we can just drop in little squares. So we've got little rectangle shapes. There's one, there's the second, there's the third, and it's just slanting up a bit, and then you've got a little triangle up that corner for the fourth, and then this side, and then you've got that one there. So now we can just detail that up and put the dark in between the teeth. And you just want a little bit of curved shape. And the real dark going up to the corner. You can fuzz that out a bit, and again that side it's not as dark, but straight away you're getting more and more of Goona appearing. So now, now we've got the side of Goona's head just slightly curved, and that's the shape of a head going down inside of a hair. Now a neck here comes down, and really what we could do with is indicating the top of a tunic, and that's going to come down here, and then her shirt inside, and then a tunic. So again, you've just got a simple little V there. So now a neck, you know, is going to go up and join underneath that tooth inside of the V that you've already drawn, and then this one will come down and join, and then you've got this huge circle of a hair, and you can make sure that that connects on that side because the hair goes around the back of the neck. And there's Goona's head completely done. So now we're going to work pretty quickly to get the rest of it in. So we've got this band. Again, you've got a box on a wrist. It's quite quick and simple. And that's kind of going down. So you can just do a bit of an angle. And we've got our arm coming here, but we need a hand going out. But the hand, you can see her knuckles just all come across here, and then you've got like these kind of sausages. So the bottom of a hand inside that box, and then curve up her big bracelet wristband that she's got on. And that can come down, and then you can curve that around too. And the bracelet goes over. Again, curve it, follow the shape of the wrist. Now there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think it's a quick count, bands. So you can kind of either copy it exactly or just make it up and wing it. So the lines at the top, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, well I've got 10 in there, so there might be 11. And inside the little details, the lines that go the opposite way. So if we start and just ping them in, the actual tick marks inside go the opposite way on each separate line. And they're just little details that you can add in quite quickly. So now we know that that hand there is going off over the top. But the bracelet actually gives us a good reference point for everything else on Goona. So we can now draw her right shoulder tunic down. That's going to come down there, and there's just a little bit of a detail line in there. This one we know comes down inside the hairline, so we can draw that, and then we know that the arm is going to come inside. She's got that little torque band around her upper arm, just above the hand and above the finger, and the finger's going to come about there. So if we draw that out, just a simple line, and you're working inside those boxes, and then this little finger is going to bend down, then you can obviously just separate those two, and then you've got Goona's complete fingers. very quickly. So now if we do the shoulder inside the tunic, and the tunic goes up, and bring that down, and we want that pattern again, just draw lines inside the torque band, and then just little triangles, little V's, and then you've got a little circle in each one, and you've got the pattern inside the torque band. So now we can bring our elbow down, and we can see that that one, the wristband underneath, comes down, and we can go to the elbow. That wristband's pretty much all in shadow, so you can indicate some lines, but that will be all shadowed in a second. Now this arm, you can see, goes out, and you're just using the shapes, and the left hand is out over the top, and that's where you can draw the fingers going over. That's very quickly the top part of Goona. So now what we need to do is her belt, a lot of the belt. Again, just simple rectangle shapes, a little triangle at the end, a little V shape. Now there's Goona's belt, and we can finish that off. Now Goona's hair, just do nice zigzags on the end there, and then curve that up to the back of the ponytail. So now we've got the bottom part of the tunic coming out under the belt, and that goes all the way across and joins up the line underneath this gauntlet, wristband on this arm. So we want the belt coming out here, and then the underneath of the tunic coming out. Now these last little bits, again, this is what looks like very complex, but you've already put the shapes in, so you can knock in very quickly these leather straps that are on the outside of a skirt, and then you've got a little button, little circle for a button, another one. So this one is now down here, and we've got that one that goes there, then we've got another one that's just out, and then it's a slight angle, and then you just need to put the little button on, and then finally we've got Goona's legs, and in the background, if you can see a dark shadow there kind of in the background behind, to just fill that in, and then we can fill that in with shading in a moment. And then finally Goona's legs. Now that is a very quick way to get down a full body. Now we're going to very, very quickly shade Goona in. Again, it's much more complex because it's a full body, but I'm using the side of the pencil, and I'm putting a bit about medium pressure. Again, the harder you press, the darker it will be. And then you want darker for the shadow underneath. Now her hair is shadowed round the back. Now I'm putting a soft tone down first that I can then smudge with a finger. Again, I'll smudge that with my finger. I'm doing this quick, and now I've got some actual pencil on my finger. I'm going to colour in Goona's flesh tones a little bit, because that'll help very, very quickly. Again, I can smudge her arm down here, and there's a bit of shadow under there, smudge the fingers. Again, if we do Goona's hair, now I'm starting to go with the direction of the hair. I've smudged that in. She's got very straw blonde hair, but you can now lightly indicate the flow and direction of her hair, and that gives it the detail. Use the sharper part of the pencil, and these would be scored using sculpting tools the Aardman animators and sculptors would do. But if you follow the flow of the hair and then increase the dark, and where the ponytail comes in, that's very dark. All of a sudden you've got a much better, darker set of tones for a hair. Again, I'm just using the side of the pencil to darken Goona's lips. You've got a bit of shadow over the teeth, darker shadow underneath the top lip and underneath the bottom lip. And then you've got a much darker shadow right underneath the bottom lip down the left hand side too. And we need to shadow under her nose and under her eyes, around her eyes, down this right hand side of her face. And you've got the shadow coming off the nose right out to this side. So now, pressing down a lot darker to get this kind of simple tone in on Goona's tunic. And just getting your tones right is just a matter of practice. And don't be, just have fun. Because the more you experiment, and now using the side of the pencil, I'm going in the direction of the tunic to put those kind of direction lines in. And so here you've got a much darker shadow, and then under her shoulder where it comes out, that's working quite well. Now the leather belt is light on the edge, coming down to dark inside, and you've got a real dark line underneath. You've got a full shadow of the arm underneath there. So if we just fill in all of this tunic, and then we can lightly fill in her gauntlet, her wristband. So now we've got a little bit of shadow underneath each of these fingers, much more shadow under this arm, again under her left hand over her right arm. You've got shadow coming off that hand over her left elbow, and then we've got full dark under that gauntlet, and then this bit at the bottom you can just increase and then graduate it up, just bring the dark coming up a little bit around the gauntlet, and there you can see you've got 3D form going around. Now underneath the tunic over the top of a skirt is completely dark, and then this one down this side is going to be completely dark because that's into the background. We've got a lighter brown. We just quickly sketch all of that in and then build the darks up. So the actual brown is darker than the buttons, so we can go over there, but we can just highlight that very quickly in a moment. And then we've got Goona's legs. Remember, they're round, so you've got a bit of a darker part in there, and the skirt is creating a shadow. That's a V as well. And then this right leg is casting more shadow from the left leg in the skirt. So we've got that shadow going down there. And then now we darken the underskirt, and we've also got the shadow now coming down under their arms. You've got a little pleat coming down on a tunic. Darken the shadow on the leather parts on a belt. And you can intensify that a little bit. Again, you can just keep going over and adding more and more details as you want to. Again, if you use your finger, you can smudge and that'll help. But we want a shadow down this side because this leg is a little bit darker. So we can add the shadow. And then you've got the stitching on these leather straps that go down. And they're just inside, so just use the sharp part of your pencil just inside the entire outline of each of the straps, and just increase them a little bit. Now underneath each of the buttons is going to be a little shadow, nice and quickly and simply. And so we need to increase that shadow down there. Then we've got the shadow, intensify the shadow cast by her arms. It's a bit of a mottled kind of fabric on her actual dress. Oh, we need to increase the hat now, just to bring the tones together. To get those shapes. But that is looking pretty good. So now, very, very quickly, what we can do is just highlight the little buttons down here. And we can just ping some highlights on the top of her arm and her hand. Smudge the nose, clean the eyes up. Smudge her lips a little bit. Let's just increase that shadow underneath there and underneath there, and then we can just bring a little bit of a highlight back, and the one on that elbow, and that is looking something like. Now again, in the hair, just on the highlighted bits, use your eraser on the highlighted bits, but go in the direction of the hair, and that way it's like you're brushing it. Highlight on the top of a hat. Let's just bring out those little stitching bits again. But that is Goona. That's a very, very quick sketch. That's the whole body drawn down using those simple shapes and toned in. All in about 25 minutes, just under 30 minutes. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Do enjoy doing that kind of drawing. Please do like and subscribe for future videos, and most importantly, enjoy your drawing and enjoy the Early Man film. Cheers, take care, ta-da.